Welcome. Thank you for tuning in to my little YouTube channel here. And today I'm going to be talking with Dr. Janet Cline. She is involved in a company that I'm also involved in, LifeVantage, and it's the activation company. And I got involved a little bit before she did, and then I've seen her get involved. I met her at a Brimhall chiropractic event, I think about 5 years ago now.
Wow.
And it was interesting because she wasn't involved with it right away. But then I kind of would ask, I was like, why aren't you doing this? And then I was curious because it was like, she's just really good chiropractor. She helps these people get all these amazing results. Um, and then the next thing I know, she's just blasting off in this company and she's got all these cool, fun stories. So I wanted to bring her on and have her share some of these stories that she's seen. And it started with herself and her husband. And I'll let you tell the story of kind of how you got started and go from there.
Thank you, Joe. I'm so glad that I get to have a platform to actually share the stories and my whole journey in this whole company and well, in life actually. But so thank you for letting me come and tell you what's going on with me. But I've actually been a chiropractor almost 40 years. And I did start with the Brim Halls doing the 6 steps of wellness. And that's how we got to meet was during those seminars and everything. And I've known about LifeVantage for over 10 years. And I knew it was a great company because Dr. Brett was involved in it, and I knew he wouldn't be involved in a company that wasn't good. And but I was actually involved in a different business and a different company, and I didn't see the big picture that LifeVantage had to offer at that time. And anyways, over a year ago in October is when Dr. Britt, at a seminar, one of the seminars we were at, he told me, he said, you know what? LifeVantage is about to launch this brand new product that's going to help so many people. I think it's something that would really interest you and you would want to know more about it. And when he told me it was a GLP product, that it was not like what we're thinking about that's out there on the market and the shots and actually like giving you GLP that had so many different side effects that I wasn't interested in. When he told me the concept about no, this is about giving your body the right kind of things, the right kind of nutrients and the right kind of ratios, and it's going to make your body produce its own GLP. So we're not going to give it a shot of it, it's going to make it happen itself. And I thought, maybe I'll take a look at it now. So that kind of sparked my interest. And I knew that everybody was talking about GLPs and weight loss and what this was doing. So that's how I jumped in, is because I became a product of the product. I got on one of these little smart scales that tell you more than your weight. It tells you your visceral fat. It tells you muscle mass and overall fat and everything. I took my measurements and my inches, especially around my belly, because I'm 64. And when you get in these years and older and stuff, hormonal changes, everything like that, the hardest place to lose fat is in your belly, especially when you're a woman. And so that was one of the first things I started noticing, was that the inches in my clothes and things were fitting better. But on the scale, I wasn't losing a lot of weight. And I thought, this is crazy because I feel different. I feel better. Um, but it wasn't like just, 10, 20 pounds instantly kind of a thing. But what got me excited was the visceral fat index on that smart scale. It dropped down like crazy. And for anyone out there that doesn't know about visceral fat is the bad fat we don't want. It's the fat that surrounds our organs, that are all the vital organs in our arteries. Everywhere we do not want fat is the visceral fat. So knowing I was doing something that not only was making me feel better, it was helping me balance blood sugar levels out. It was helping reduce my food noise, where I didn't want to eat all the junk food out there, which ice cream was kind of hard. But anyways, that kind of quieted down. But I didn't want to eat as much. I would get fuller quicker. So all the things that that everybody's talking about, the shots, was actually a benefit on this mind body product to enhance our own GLP. So then I started telling everybody, and that's how I got started really growing, is because I thought everybody needs to know about this, that there's a different way of waking up your body. But backpedaling about, it's about 3 years ago now, my husband had to have a complete shoulder replacement surgery where we're in reversal. So we're talking about, normally, the ball's on the top of this bone, and then you have this socket. I can't do it that it fits into. So he had to do the opposite. He had to put the socket up here, or vice versa. The socket had to go on the top. Anyways, it was a complete reversed shoulder. And I knew it was going to be a bad surgery. And we had tried so many things, and I thought, this isn't working. So I called up Dr. Brimhall, Dr. Brett, and said, what can I give him before he goes into surgery and after, so he heals faster, he recuperates faster, recovers everything? And that's when he said, this company just came out with this activated liquid collagen. You should take it. You should give it to him. So I did. They gave him the collagen and the Protandim together, still not being a part of LifeVantage at that point. But he took it. He had his surgery. They even kept him overnight because it was a pretty serious surgery. And we live about 2 hours away from the surgery out in the country. And so everybody was adamant about giving him a pain medicine to be able to get home. And he kept on saying, I don't hurt. I don't want anything. Well, they scared him half to death because he said, well, everything we've done, the nerve block and everything's going to wear off. You need to have it. So he took that one because they wouldn't let him out of the hospital without it. But he never took another one. He never had another painkiller. He never had pain. The bruising was minimal. The swelling was minimal. It was like amazing. And when I took him back to the orthopedic doctor, that was even better because that guy said to him, what did you do? I've never had anybody recover this fast, heal this fast, doing as great as you're doing. And he said, I just did what my wife told me to do. So I told that doctor, I said, I can get you in touch with the person that told me about it. Still not in the business part of it, but I can tell you what doctor I deal with. And he says, actually, if I had you as a doctor for all of my patients doing exactly what you just did for your husband, I would look like a really good doctor and I would be booked for years. And I'm like, And I still didn't, like, the light bulb didn't go off. So, anyways, since starting to do more of the research with the science and looking way down into the science, that's what got me so intrigued, was everything that they have done research wise, patent pending, patent formulas, especially the NRF2 that reduces oxidative stress by 40%. Knowing the science behind all this and the genes that activates and the peptides that activates, and that they don't make a product unless they can see on a cellular basis what it's doing inside of our body. If they can't give us what they call nutrigenomics, which is giving us the right nutrition to wake up the right genes to work on a cellular level. So if they can't develop and formulate something in the right recipe to make that happen inside of us, we don't get it. So knowing that this company spends millions of dollars doing this, I thought it's totally backed by science. But that's not what got me so excited. In this last year, the people that have been using this product, not just my patients, but friends, family, you name it, the results have been unbelievable. I mean, they have just been amazing. It makes me really emotional because it's the results that everybody's getting as to why I'm still in this company. Like I said, the science isn't no brainer. It's there. They've done their homework. That's what got me excited. About 3 months. So I started in October. So November and December, January of last year, my husband had another bad thing happen. He fell like 6 feet. He was on top of an piece of equipment that was on top of the equipment trailer. He went to step down, missed a step, fell 6 feet onto concrete on his left side, the same side that he had the shoulder replaced. and put his arm out to catch his fall, landed on his hip, so pretty bad. And he didn't tell anybody because he had to drive the piece of equipment back 2 hours back to where he needed it to come. And so when he got home, he said, I think I kind of hurt my wrist. And I said, what'd you do? He goes, well, I fell down and I put my arm out. He didn't tell me the whole story. And I looked at it and I said, you know what? I think that you broke your wrist. And he said, well, it might be because it hurts. And I'm like, so anyways, took him to the hospital and made the doctor x-ray him because again, he wasn't in a whole lot of pain, but I knew it was broke. So the doctor x-rayed it. It was broke. I said, do you think you should x-ray his hip? Well, he doesn't hurt. And I said, well, neither did his wrist. But so he x-rayed everything because I was concerned about the shoulder and the hip. And the only thing that he did, and he's in his 60s too, is broke his wrist. So they casted it, well, after the swelling went down. But he was only in his cast for 5 weeks. His arm healed in 5 weeks. Now I have raised three boys, and they are 36, 34, and 26. We had to stop and think. But they're very active boys, into everything. And they have broken bones before. And I know how long it took them to get out of casts. And so, even at a much younger age, they did not heal this fast. And the only thing I attribute it to is that he had been on these products, the activated collagen and the Protandim, and also this mind body that they found activates like 22 genes for organ health. So the combination at that time, I really think, is what helped speed up his healing. Now, I'm going to put in a little disclaimer right now because I've been talking about a lot of different things, but we're not here to diagnose or treat or claim that we're, doing any kind of diagnosing or that this is going to work on any kind of disease. I'm just telling you personal stories that I have personally witnessed. But it's crazy, and I'm sure that you've had a lot of different things that you've seen even with yourself too, Joe. But I can go on and on. But what got you involved in wanting to do LifeVantage? Because you did start before I did.
Well, I mean, my story is really similar to Dr. Brett's in terms of, people kept bringing me the product and sending me the ABC primetime special, and I would look at the ingredients and I was like, it's not that special, right? Like I was like, I take these herbs. And then when I met Dr. Brett and he started to tell me how explain the genetic, how they're activating the genes portion of it and they can duplicate it and it's done over and over again and they were working on a 10-year study and that's when I was like and then I started to meet more people in the company and looking at them having been with the company for 10 years and looking at them now and they were older people, so I was like they look good. Like there's something to this. um
Same, yep.
and then it was even recently where you had shared the video that was by the time I watched it, it was 2 years old. Like I saw all the pictures of people having the massive changes with the NRF2 and the liquid collagen, but I didn't actually know the science of how it was improving the cellular danger response within these people and changing that on a cellular level that I was really like, I'm really glad I've been taking this. And for myself with my compound fractured femur, that's where like I was always like, can I get my hair thicker? I want to get my hair thicker. And then, but Dr. Brett's like, well, it's doing something inside of your body. Like if you're not seeing it, like what's it doing on the inside? And that's where like I don't have the X-rays or things to prove. I mean, I got X-rays from a long time ago, but my range of motion changing and just I can there's just a difference inside of my leg where it feels way different than it has. I mean, I compound fractured it when I was 18
Oh,
and
wow.
now I'm 47. So to just since I've been 35, I just keep seeing these changes in my body, which that's not the way most people, I had my old roommate had his hip replaced.
Yeah.
And so at 46. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, I was the one with the compound fractured femur, like so just, paying attention to what people do versus what people don't. And after feeling like I was 70 when I was 22, just to continue to feel better and have more energy as I am aging, has just been a complete blessing.
It's like
Um,
they said on that John Quinones, when he was interviewing Dr. McCord, he said, I don't want to wait until I'm 80 to figure out I should have been doing this like in my 60s or younger. And in that one research that they did that shows it can reduce your oxidative stress back to a 20-year-old, even 80-year-olds. I mean, the research does. I mean, the research is great, but seeing it in your own bodies is even better. And knowing that you're doing something. I had somebody recently said, I don't feel any different. And I said, well, have you had labs done to see what you were before and what you were afterwards? Because here's my whole point is that we don't feel cholesterol in our body. We don't feel you can tell if your blood sugars are off, if they're up or down, or sometimes if you get too tired, or if you eat something and you get tired. And so you can tell those things, but um, labs really tell a huge difference. And I've had some that even when they started on the mind body GLP, this one mother that was the daughter made her do it. She was in her 70s, but her A1C went from 10 to 8 in like a month's time. And the doctor said that's impossible. And of course, I mean, it's not just this magical take this and poof. You still have to eat, right? You still have to have happy thoughts. I'm not saying that you have to go to the gym and exercise because I don't. So I'm a lot better doctor than I am a patient. But I'm active. I get out there, I walk, I hike, I do things. But some kind of moving is important. So that's really, really important. But knowing on a cellular level, we're doing so great. Knowing the genes that it's affecting, and even with this new P84 they just came out with that, and they just released that it affects 358 genes, and four of them are these stress genes that respond to cellular stress, not like emotional kind of stress, but cellular stress. And knowing that just those four genes out of there is doing what it's doing, um, that's cool. I mean, just the gut health alone, because PA4, everybody thinks about digestion and probiotics, but this is way beyond just that. It's like completely restoring and rebuilding and regenerating and everything else that our gut lining needs to do, and our gut and brain and every part of our body deals with our gut.
and I mean, with the NRF2 and how it's helping with the oxidative stress and it's decreasing it, you being from a mining town and then being in a mining community and then, going to events and kind of hearing you tell the stories, that's where I really had my mind blown on how it kind of just caught wildfire because everybody was like, what are you doing? And people had been trying to get the changes in their health and they just weren't, it wasn't happening.
Yeah, the one patient that you're talking about that works at the mines, and she's in her 40s, and she has three girls, one's still in junior high. She was diagnosed, well, she had gone a couple of years all over to different doctors and hospitals trying to figure out what was wrong with her, and achiness all over and pain and difficulty breathing and shortness of breath and all of these things. And when she finally got to Mayo, and they told her she had sarcoidosis. But at one time, they even thought she had multiple myeloma and other cancer, and took lymph node studies to see if it was cancer. It wasn't. So sarcoidosis is an autoimmune type of disease. And so she had called me and said, do you think these products you've been talking about could help me? And I said, I don't know if they're going to help you. I don't know what they're going to do. I said, but if lowering your oxidative stress, reducing, that oxidation, if increasing glutathione, if doing something on a cellular level is going to help get some of that inflammation out of your body, it's worth trying. Again, because we don't make any claims that this is going to cure or treat or anything like that. So she got on them, and within a week, she was sleeping better. She could lay on her hip that hurt so bad. She had been on high steroids and different other kind of medications, and and had all these active lymph nodes in her lungs when she first started and everything. And so they were just watching and going to just give her medication for it, and said there's no cure, there's nothing they can do, just live with it kind of a thing. So in about 4 months, maybe 3 months, 3.5, 4 months time, she had to go back and get a scan done of her lungs to see what the lymph nodes were doing and get labs done and this and that. She had no active lymph nodes, none. And the doctor at Mayo thought, maybe we misdiagnosed you. And I'm like, well, here's the labs before, here's the labs after. I think everything was there before we started. The only thing different we did were these products to reduce all the inflammation to give her the right nutrition for her body on to wake up these genes, to either wake them up or to calm them down. Or the cool thing about our bodies is that they know what to do. We don't have to guess, well, do I need to increase this or decrease this or turn on this gene or turn off that gene? If you give your body the right fuel, it knows what to do. That's the most awesome thing about this. That's why it went like wildflower, like a wildfire here, is because of her story alone. Because she can't quit her job. She has 3 kids to support. She can't, I mean, so it, just knowing that she's doing something that's helping her health is a tremendous relief. I mean, and she's helped so many people.
And then the other video that I know you had watched as well was with the woman sharing the her stories of working with people, if it's like a hospice type situation, I forget exactly, but nursing home, like just her 10 years of working with the products and then just the stories of stuff that she was telling was just mind-blowing. That's what got my dad to be finally motivated to keep taking the products was when I shared that video with him too.
And that's the beauty of what we're doing right now, is the more stories that we share and that we get out there, even if it's from other people's stories, if it can help just one person to feel better, that's our mission. And that's the beauty of it being networking, because it's people telling people and being willing to share what they have learned and what they've experienced. It's fantastic.
Hmm. Well, thank you for joining me today, and I won't make this too long so people can want to watch it. And if you want to hear more, reach out to Dr. Janet or reach out to myself, and we can share the ABC Primetime Special video with you, or we can get you the any of this information that you'd like. We'd be happy to.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.